Welcome to Never No Moment. I'm Greg Blythe. I'm very excited to bring this Whetstone review to you. I've actually had these stones for quite a while. I've been waiting on them. I have not used them at all. So you might recognize some of the stones from the internet. This is the Kitayama 8000. This comes from a line of stones. You might have seen the Arashiyama 6000, as well as the 1000. A little controversy when it comes to the name. You know, a lot of the names like Kitayama, that's the line of the stone. And when I was doing this research, I was finding out that the actual manufacturer, it seems like the manufacturer name is what's like up in the air. You know, you have the Otani Toishi name. You also have the Imanishi name. Depending on which site you go, sometimes you'll see all of the names. And I'm going to point out another stone in this lineup. This is also the Imanishi 2000, meaning it is a cousin. It is also a stone, you know, that is part of this family. And you'll notice that it just looks like completely different than the other part of the line. And the reason I want to point that out is this company actually makes a lot of stones in a variety of looks, as well as even other names like Bester. So I think we've seen the Bester stone, we've heard of the Bester stone. And so we're going to get a peek in this today. I want to point out several things. I'm going to put pictures up like over what I'm saying right now so you can see that there are websites that have like all of these stones. Very difficult to get all the varieties. I was looking at the 4000. I really wanted to have that in the lineup. The company wanted the exact same amount for shipping as they wanted for the stone because they were halfway around the world and that was how much they charged. And I was like, nope, can't do it. Sorry. I love the channel and I love you, but I just couldn't do it. So I could not get the 4000. The 10,000, I was super excited to get. Again, it was just one of those things with some of the prices, shipping, the world that we live in. It was just a little bit out of reach to do this video. These are the two like popular stones that we see a lot. So I'm definitely excited to use them for you today. These are not soaking stones, but I do want to point out something real quick. This particular stone is softer. It has magnesium salt in it, and it has natural stone powder in it. So I've really read a lot of reviews on finishing with this stone. Just that it really gives like a super nice polish. I think we had to go ahead. You'll also notice it does not come with a marking in English. My wife took the time to mark it for me. So unless you read Japanese, there was like this one came with the actual marking on it. The 4000 I know has it. I think the 10,000 actually had it like at the bottom. And you'll also notice that their 1000 can look a lot of different ways according to which year you buy it. Okay, so the writing that's on here is part of a plastic cover. So I'll go ahead and take that off real quick. And while my wife is kind of focused, I will go ahead and show you the knife we're going to be sharpening today. So this is the Kato R2 Tashimi 270 millimeter Sujihiki. Really nice. You've seen me sharpen it in other videos. I talk about what it's like to sharpen R2 / SG2 steel. That's the super gold.
Handle.
Huh?
Handle.
My wife's calling me out on the handle. I do not want to say, I think this is a walnut handle. I do not believe this is ebony from the color, but I'm not going to say that I remember right off the bat. I'd have to look it up. So one of the reasons I'm choosing this knife today is I want to make sure that when I give you a stone review, I'm using a knife that I've sharpened. I want to be able to compare the feeling before to the feeling now. I have a ton of knives that haven't been sharpened yet that I don't think it's fair to you. I literally was given by people 27 knives to sharpen. Lots of more videos to come with those. I did not want to use those knives to sharpen because then the feedback isn't really fair. I want to use a knife that I've done. I've sharpened this several times. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually get into this So if you'll give me a moment to set up, I'm going to set up another camera and we'll come right back. Okay, so now we've taken a moment to get everything set up for you. I apologize. I want to let you know we needed to soak the 1000 grit stone for 5 minutes. So according to the corporation, this particular stone is a 5-minute soak. So we've got that in there. We're getting ready to use that and level off. Another thing I wanted to point out was even this 2000 grit has 30% natural stone. So the company is really big on trying to make everything, you know, have that natural feel. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm also, you know, you're going to see that they just look different. Their products are different. My wife and I were just on their website a minute ago, and you literally, whether you're looking at the Bester product, the Toishi product, the Imanishi product, it can be confusing. So it is all the same company unless they've been bought, and I'm unaware of that. But I'm super excited to use the product, so here we go. So the first thing, you know, if you've been watching is we definitely want to get a feeling for the stone. So we need to get this set up. See what we got going here. Oh. It wasn't moving because so we're using the Naniwa sink bridge. You guys have probably noticed I've been rotating around, and this was sticking up and it was preventing, so I apologize. Okay, so we have that there. So we're going to quickly draw our lines. Let's see how flat it is out of the box. I would say so far so good. It got really muddy really quick. So that's nice. We'll go ahead and soak some of that off. We don't want to take that onto the other stones. All right, so again, 270 millimeter Kato Toishi R2 / SG2 Sujihiki. Okay. Nice. So I've been using this knife a lot lately, and it definitely needed to be sharpened. I'm sorry I didn't do a quick demo of how dull it was, but really the purpose of this is feeling, and I can tell you right now, right off the bat, is dreamy. It is dreamy. There is like a muddy feeling that makes it nice. My wife is laughing because it's like, you know, it's like, how do you really know that quick? But you just do. I like that muddy kind of feeling. You know, gritty is not the right word. I mean, there's definitely some grit. The sound is a little different. The slide feels amazing. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, it just jumped right out there into making me like it a lot. I'm excited for all the stuff that we're like really here to see. So this is a 50-50 bevel knife. This isn't really a knife sharpening video, but just pointing something out. This is not a single-sided knife for those of you who are thinking that is Unagiba. So we will be putting, you know, a bevel on both sides. It is R2, so it is a much harder powdered steel. I have a stone review coming up of some Naniwa diamond stones that would be like excellent for all the harder powdered steels. So we'll know in just a second. So if you remember on my video on sharpening R2 for the very first time, and I'll put a link above, I did not get an edge on this knife rapidly. You might even be thinking about like starting with a 400 or something. This is a softer, muddier stone, so it is not giving me like a burr like rapidly, but this R2 steel is super hard. I think normally the heat treat on this is around 65. So Okay, so now I have to like edit this part right here. Okay. So like I said, this is like a super hard knife. So the fact that this stone isn't getting a burr quickly doesn't change the fact that I had that same issue using other stones with this hard of a steel. But it doesn't change the fact that I really like using this stone. So I am pushing a little harder. Some stones I could compare it to recently, I did a review of the King Stone. I actually had a lot of fun with the King Stones. I can say I like this better. And the King Stones I know are like tried and true, like, you know, every village loves their King Stone. And honestly, I really love the King Stone. This just jumped right off the bat, like way up on the food chain here. We'll see performance-wise shortly. You still got to do the job. You know, right off the bat, even though we soaked it 5 minutes, I had to wet it a little bit. And then as soon as I wet a little bit, it just stayed wet. So I'm starting to get a burr. It's not even. It's not all the way down. Sliding across the stone seems so easy. I'm trying to use the entire stone so I don't dish out the stone. So making some notes of some stuff that will be coming in the future. I've had a knife that's been without a handle. We're going to be doing a handle episode on that. But the cool thing about that knife is that is ZDP 189, super hard steel, Rockwell hardness of around 67 to 68. I have not sharpened that knife yet. I mean, it's crazy sharp right now. So it'll be interesting to, one, sharpen ZDP 189, two, show you the knife with the handle. Hell, I'd just be excited to use the knife for the first time. I haven't cut anything with it because I don't have a handle on it. Okay, so right off the bat up here, we're good. Like I said, I'd had trouble before with this particular knife getting the burr, so this soft stone isn't like working overtime, I'll say that, to make this very hard steel work. Sometimes you need the right tool for the right job. So even though I do like this stone, I can tell you that that Naniwa diamond stone would probably be more efficient for me to start on. Now, I'm going to be doing the 2000 next, but I said I don't have the 4000. The argument then would be, do I fill it in with another stone? I do think I can jump from the 2 to the 6. I think that that's something that I'm able to do. So we're going to do it today. I'm sure there can be plenty of comments in the area below as far as like, I mean, yes, a big progression, like going through all the stones would be ideal. I kind of just don't want to disturb the lineup and just use only this product and just talk about this product. There we go. So we just have like, it's a big knife, by the way. We're trying to get it even the whole way down. I got a little bit missing in the middle. Now, it'll be interesting jumping up to the 2000 because it's a different line, even though it's the same manufacturer. It's definitely doing what I'm used to with a like a micro burr. You know, like when you think about natural stones, you think about a micro burr. Okay, we're turning over. You can just hear that it sounds different than other stones. So a slightly higher pitch. It just has a softness that's it's just a little different. Definitely love to hear the comments from you out there who already own this stone. You might have the 6 or the 8, but you might not have the 1 or the 2 or the 4. If you got some reliable links to share with us on where you're getting these. I noticed a lot of companies sell the 8 and the 6. There we go. All right, so the habit has been that we clean the stone where it's after use. If we were doing more stuff, we could leave it out, but I'm getting it clean before I put it away. Okay, so this 2000, it's a lot shorter. Again, different line for them. Put the knife down so I don't hurt the knife while I adjust this. So it's a lot thicker. It looks like it's, several, like maybe 1 or 2 centimeters shorter. Of course, everything in here, I'll have links. And I'm probably going to put way too many links. There's a lot of people out here that have this stuff. This one was gotten in a Swedish shop. It was not easily available in America. So the hardness on this was tremendously more. I'm actually going to use this Nagura and try to raise the slurry a little bit. My wife is great. I'm glad I got over here. I didn't flatten it. So there you go. It's okay. I'm glad you're here. That's why we're a team, and this isn't a one-man show, and there's a lot of things to remember. If you guys remember, we try not to edit. It does happen, but I think if you go back through our videos, it's very rare unless there's a major catastrophe that we edit. We try to show you what's going on with us as human beings. If you guys know, there was no information that this was a soaking stone. There was nothing to say to soak it, nothing to say not to soak it. Traditionally, if you have Japanese natural stones, you do not soak. This is 30% natural stone. I had to make it a call that it did not explicitly say to soak it. Only the 1000 grit stone. It was the only stone by the company that I saw at all that said that you needed to soak. And we're just going with that. So now that we flattened it, it feels completely different. Now that I've, and there's mud. There's mud from the Nagura. It actually has a nice slide to it now. I'm trying to determine if it's a little bit thirsty. I mean, the mud is still sitting up there. It just seems like it is drying out. So again, if you have information about this being a soaking stone, let us know. We're treating it as a non-soaking stone. You'd have the same thing happens with natural stones. I mean, you have to get the slurry up. You have to add water and do slurry management. So it's definitely acting a little bit more like a natural stone. For those of you who are into natural stones, that's a good thing. I know I keep promising and hinting we are getting ready to have a introduction to natural stones. I have a nice collection. I'm anxious to share them with you. I think one of the reasons I've been putting it off is there's a lot of info and you really need to be accurate. So we are almost done on this side. And in case anybody sees it, I'm not going down where I'm getting like the stuff off the bottom. I'm just getting a little bit of water. I'm not trying to pick up any type of mud that would be off of a different stone. Yes, I have a water bottle out and I could easily just use the water bottle.
Is there a reason you would do one over the other?
You know, you're just trying to make sure you have fresh water. My wife's asking, is there a reason you do it? You know, convenience is to reach down. If you have a bigger pond, the slurry gets to the bottom and you can, you know, you have a water settling up a little higher. But to do that is like nothing. Okay, wow. Yeah, that was nice. Okay, so, but if you did notice, I mean, this one has been a thirsty, like natural stone-like thing. Hardness, I definitely feel like it's harder than the 1000. Whether that's the 30% natural stone or just the fact that it's a different line. They had said that the Kitayama 8000 is softer because of the magnesium salt. So my wife's just going to keep saying Kitayama all night. So in the comments, a lot of you guys will talk about my Japanese. I do try to do my best. There are times in which Southern accent happens, and some of my vowels don't sound exactly right. I don't mind the comments. You're trying to help. I'm not offended. Some people don't say it quite as nice as other people. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. We're listening, and we are thankful. We appreciate it. We also appreciate you saying it nicely. Thank you. Okay, so this time is like ready to go. Okay, so we are moving on. We're going to get all the 2000 slurry off. We do not want to give any contribution at all to the next one. Super excited about the next one. So again, seen it forever. You guys will all, you'll add it to, you'll take pictures and it's, my wife's all over me here. There's nothing on it, Michelle. The reason I didn't clean it was I already had wiped it so many times. There was just nothing on it. It's every time I went, there was just nothing on it. It's just a really hard, non-slurry stone. Okay. I'm trying to get, you're not going to hear about it, So, the next stone. So it's definitely bigger, like lengthwise. It's maybe 1 centimeter bigger than the last one. I think it's more of a traditional stone size, what we're used to. This is never a dull moment, guys, is being a hawk. There's a lot to know. I mean, there's a lot to do in these videos. There's, I'm focused on making sure I don't get slurry on it. I'm trying to make sure my hands are clean, trying to make sure the knife is clean. So it is nice to have someone just leading the way, directing. So we can see that some of the logo is coming off. I was worried about that being another slurry, but I had already cleaned it. So all of the dark that you can see is coming from the logo. It was definitely a little bit more uneven down on the bottom end. But we do have a nice slurry now. Now I am unaware if this particular stone, I haven't read anything that says it. I don't know if this stone is as soft as the 8000. Okay, so I mean, obviously we jumped from a 2 to a 6. And it's glassier. It doesn't quite have the Suhiro stickiness. The Suhiro, even though like a lot of times you have to actually, they're not soaking stones, but you should still soak them 5 to 15 minutes. So there is a rubberiness, not quite like you're pushing the knife into like a synthetic rubber cutting board, but it is different. It's not as muddy feeling. But it's like you definitely left one line for the other. So the Arashiyama line, that 1000 is also considered an Arashiyama. So like I said, they have lots of lines. The Kitayama, that my wife is like double checking in her head. It is its own thing. The Arashiyama, the Bester. You know, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat that there's nothing like super special so far about the 6000. The 1000, I mean, you saw me light up. I am not put off by the 6000 at all. I'm not. Well, I'm just saying that I don't feel like it's setting itself apart from anything so far. It's a pretty hard stone. I mean, it's a 6000. Let's call it what it is. It has that little bit of a gumminess that I was talking about earlier. Performance is all you care about. So it doesn't have anything that's putting me off. It just doesn't have anything that's like super exciting. We'll have to go back and look at the price point to see if you're say doing yourself a favor and saving money compared to say the Suhiro or the Naniwa Professional. Now, if you're on the Korin site watching videos, they talk about the finish. So even though you can get mirror, a lot of times you can leave it kind of a satin kasumi finish, and they'll talk about it being like so good for fatty foods. I mean, the performance is there. I'm not going to knock it on that. I was just saying that nothing jumped out. Do not take my energy drop as displeasure. There's no displeasure. Just I thought it was going to be muddier, and honestly I think that was wrong on my part because it's a 6000. I mean, it should be a harder stone. I was just having fun with the muddy one, and it was like really nice. Now supposedly this 8000 is like really soft. And somebody even made a comment in one of my videos that like softer than the 8000 Kitayama. So we shall see in a minute. Because again, I haven't used it. I mean, it's brand new out of the box. We like to do that right in front of you. So everything is getting done very even. Before my wife says it, let's clean the stone.
The stone says thank you.
My wife is speaking for the stone. The stone says thank you. Okay. We're going to sit that down. There is some mud on my knife that I need to get off of my knife. So we're going to get that out of here, clean the stone. The stone says thank you. Okay. So let's get a lot of that residue of the 6 off. So if for those of you who don't understand what's going on, like we don't want slurry from the knife to suddenly have bigger particles, abrasive, conicals, whichever term you're using, to go into the 8. It's going to make an issue where you're then using the abrasive at a size 8 and at the size 6. So we're not trying to contribute. So before my wife says level, let's get it in there and secure it. Okay, so this one was a little shorter. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's definitely like a half a centimeter shorter. And that might be part of the Kitayama line. Let me just double check since this is also Kitayama. Nope. So these two are the same size. This one's a little shorter. We're going to go ahead and mark it up. So let's get a little bit of that on there. Let's get some fresh. Get it nice and wet. So if you haven't seen a flattening, you can see that this stone, this metal block that I have on top, it has teeth at a 1200 grit. I'm turning it to make just, doing all kinds of different sides, up and down, half on, half off. And so, the mud is sticking to the plate a little bit, causing it to slide. But we are not quite as flat at the far end. This is not a single beveled knife, but because it's such a long knife, I would just like the stone flat. There are plenty of people who will tell you don't need a flat stone to sharpen. That is true. But in case I want to lay the knife like full distance over the stone, I would like the stone to be flat. So there is a little bit of unevenness right there. We're still working on it. There's like a valley. And we will keep working until we get it. You can see the amount of mud coming off. So remember, this has got a good percentage of natural stone in it. Make sure it's all nice and clean. If you're a knife polisher and you're using this for polishing, you do not need to do this. Polishing is its own separate thing. There we go. All right, so we kind of clean as we go. So we're just finishing up with this knife story today. So definitely smoother than the 6, definitely softer. So I don't know why the 6 was harder per se. Definitely softer. Some of that joy, that smile is creeping back in. The 8 is making me happy. We're going to do some edge leading strokes in just a second. You guys know that I do not do edge leading strokes above an 8,000. That happened really fast. But we've been flipping this burr back and forth the whole time. And I don't know, you guys will tell me in the video, like, am I a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? I don't know if I'm a 1. I think I stay in one place for the same amount of time. I don't know how often I move my fingers. I think it's about a 1, 2. Okay, edge leading strokes. I just touched that, it's sharp. Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to make sure that the pressure with my hand is even the whole way down. Pressure towards me. You know, and you'll be able to see, like, you can literally go like across your stone, horizontal. And if there's any metal, it'll help to remove it. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the edge leading strokes. So like this stone is definitely everything I thought it would be. I don't know why the 6,000 is so much harder. Not disappointing, the 6,000, just not as super exciting. This is just a nice stone. It's supposed to be amazing for polishing as well. I can see that. So what we've just done is super light pressure, literally just floating the knife, just gravity now, trying to line up the edge. And so I need to clean the edge of the knife. We have not put this on any type of leather. We'll just go ahead and check the edge as far as like what these stones did by themselves. I have some Gunny Juice 0.5 micron on a strop. I just want to see. Yeah, that's the sound. You didn't want that rough. Could be the magazine. So it's, you guys know if you're doing that curve, that's pretty good. Let's do the 50-50 bend. My wife was going to turn around and grab a paper towel. That was ridiculous right there. But yeah, that was a holy mackerel. So we have paper towel. Again, this is without stropping on the 8,000.
They work.
So the stones worked amazing. You know, God forbid you actually put it on the leather on top of it. So we did it 4 stones. R2 steel, it was able to handle steel, that was that hard. Great feeling. Like, even though the 1,000 was a 5-minute soak, that's not putting me out. The 8,000 is definitely everything. I hate to just go ahead and say that it did actually jump over the Sujihiki 8,000. I'm getting ready to have something coming up you guys haven't learned. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's called Whetstone Wars. We're gonna be doing some Whetstone Wars. I already see episode 1 is gonna be the Sujihiki 8,000 versus the Kitayama 8,000. Just so my wife can come on camera and say it for herself. I'm super excited. Wow. So I know those of you aren't excited. You'll be happy to tell me in the comments. I'm happy to tell you that I'm happy. This was definitely not a dull moment. As always, we appreciate you watching the show. Thanks for your support. You know, I'm sorry to do the shameless plug. We do have some merchandise in the merchant store. I'm going to put a link. Some of your favorite brands, Real Sharp Knife, Perfect Edge Cutlery, You don't know this. My wife doesn't know this. District Cutlery out of Washington, D.C. told me today they're sending the logo for the store. So we're going to have District Cutlery. We've got Fuku knives. We've got Tokishu knives. We've got Gunny Juice t-shirts. And then we've got a couple of our own that's pretty funny. So hopefully you will continue to support us. Thank you as always. God bless. And we're out.